Good day, parceros. I woke up this morning to see cosmic billionaire Elon Musk launching a $43 billion hostile takeover of Twitter. What does that mean? He's made an offer for 100% of the company at $54.20 per share. That's a 38% premium over the current offer. The board is taking some serious consideration about that. If they were to deny that offer, what are the shareholders going to say? Let's take a look at what this all means. Let's break it down. Why Twitter? Why is this so important to me? Well, Twitter, as Elon Musk also identifies, is a de facto public town square. What do we mean by that? Well, if you've been paying attention, I'm creating a map of the metaverse. We are collectively creating a digital analog of our physical civilization in the digital, and Twitter is our town square. This right here is my castle of intention, because if you enter this world without intention, you will be intended upon. So Twitter has become a bit of a megaphone in the town square. Some people have a megaphone that two people are listening to. Some people have a megaphone that 81.6 million people are listening to. So a while ago, he posted a survey. This is posted by Elon Musk, showing the trust in media that we currently have. Considering all of these news organizations get their news from Twitter and then skew the story, the narrative towards their bias, Twitter is one of the most profoundly important social networks right now. And Elon Musk has been talking about free speech recently, saying it's essential to a functioning democracy. He did a poll. Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? No. Now, Twitter is a private company. It doesn't need to adhere to free speech, but Elon Musk is certainly riding that wave of discontent with our media. In our attention economy, where politicians are realizing they need a massive Twitter account to get elected these days, Elon Musk knows the importance of Twitter, and our new universal and concise language in this digital environment, which are memes. And you'll see right here, this phrase I actually heard first from CryptoPunk6529, and I do recommend him as a follow on Twitter. Very well educated and I would say authoritative voice in our current creation of a decentralized world, and this does have a lot to do with that. Sam from FTX, one of the largest exchanges in the world right now, dropped some thoughts on what a decentralized Twitter might look like. Okay, tweets go on-chain, encrypted. The sender chooses who has access to them, who can decrypt. In some sense, this unifies DMs and tweets. DMs are just tweets with the privacy setting of only Jill. Monetization comes in two forms. Tweet level. The underlying protocol charges something per message. At 500 million tweets per day, 0.1 cent a tweet could replace half of Twitter's revenue. 0.001 per tweet would replace their profit. User interface level, the UI could monetize as well, or the UI could subsidize. The user interface could show ads, monetize through that, and use that to pay the network fee. Because the messages would be on chain, users would control their data. This means that anyone could build their own Twitter UI. The UI would be able to pull the same underlying messages and compose seamlessly with them. The UIs could outgrow the ecosystem and monetize their UI fees or subsidize. Each UI could have its own moderation policy, no longer one person company controlling speech. Okay, so everyone's tweeting freely, but the user interface that we interact with those tweets is determined by people and companies that build out a user interface. Interesting idea. Example, at network fees of a fraction of a penny, Solana's fees would be a small fraction of the revenue. This would force some layer ones to scale to hundreds of thousands of transactions per second, if not millions. if likes, retweets were also on chain. But honestly, that's something that has to happen eventually anyway. Yes, we know that. And that's why Ethereum is so behind the ball. I heard their ETH 2.0 gets pushed back again. Ethereum is having trouble scaling. It's meant to be Web3, the internet of the future, but it's having trouble scaling. A truly decentralized blockchain needs to have gazillions of transactions per second, because every interaction that we do in this digital environment is essentially a transaction. All right, this is the attention economy. The chains that we pay attention to, the networks that we pay attention to, we are transacting on that network. So because it would be all on chain, it would be trivial to integrate the following into Twitter: tips, payments, monetization for content creators, NFTs, profiles, avatars. See, sure, why not Doge? We know Elon Musk is a big fan of Doge. Apparently he's been working behind the scenes. Perhaps he's been sussing out Doge to see if it is an appropriate token to be using in Twitter. Is that what's happening? We see right here, I'm in the Brave browser. This right here is a BAT, basic attention token. Attention, it's all about attention. That's why Twitter, with 3 of the largest companies in the world, stand to benefit from him owning Twitter. So this isn't, Elon Musk, I'm sure he has some benevolent storylines and narratives that's going along with this, but obviously he stands to benefit a great deal from this, from owning such an important ecosystem. So with this, democratize social media, make the finances transparent, and remove single point of failure moderation. Yep. Interesting ideas, putting the underlying framework on the blockchain and then letting the user interface be essentially open source and let different people censor in different ways. So do you see it yet? Twitter is becoming our town square. Now, this is an attention economy, and our attention is fickle. We already have alternative decentralized social network options, but we have such sticky network effect that are very hard to break. If you caught my last video with Mike Brock from Block, who is developing decentralized IDs, he recognizes that issue, that these current networks that we're all using we have so much sentimental value built into these networks. We've been creating content and interacting on these platforms for so long. We have so many memories that we don't want to let go, but unfortunately are sitting in these centralized servers of companies that are, and databases that are not owned by us. So how is this all going to play out? Well, I think Web3 is going to be defined by Web2 big tech companies grasping onto their databases, grasping onto the attention and the users that they currently have by seducing them with some Web3 features, such as, some type of token ecosystem. But truly, and I really recommend looking at the video, I'm going to put it up here, most probable positive path forward at this point is not a new social network where we all just magically decide to leave all of our data behind and our networks and our audiences behind. It's most probably decentralized ID. And Web3 is an internet, a decentralized internet where we own our data. Data is the oil of this digital civilization. Our attention is the electricity. Whichever network we pay attention to increases in value. So we've been signing into these Web2 companies with our accounts and data that they own, our name, sex, interests, salary, likes, tweets, all of the content we upload, every interaction we have, we're giving 100% of the value to these companies. So when these companies adopt token ecosystems, which is probably the most likely thing to do, we're going to be having some type of Doge standard inside of Twitter. But true decentralization, the next level is where we own every piece of data. When we sign into one of these platforms, we're toggling on and off all of the data we want to share, and we're being compensated for sharing that data, whether it's from the platform or the advertisers that want to get in touch with us. The digital civilization is unfolding. If this is the first time on the channel, I have a map which may guide you through this process. We are building, we are creating, we are building an alliance, and that's why I've been hanging out in the Discord. Our goal there is to make smarter contracts, to even stack smarter contracts so we can plug in and plug out, and we can build a portfolio of passive income which generates a peace of mind. That's what I'm doing here. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time, give a like, give a subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Until the next video, embrace your fears because they are defining and limiting your dreams. I'll see you guys in the next video.